Spoilers! You've been warned. There once was a man called Tony who was a major show pony. Then he got captured, leaving him fractured, but he'll prove he's no phony, because it's this abduction that will lead construction of a new suit of armor, turning him from a charmer to a weapon of mass destruction. When he arrived back in his homeland, he cancelled his weapons program. Jeff Bridges wasn't happy, instead he felt quite crappy, for things hadn't gone as he'd planned. Jeff wanted to steal Stark's business, that's why he hired the terrorists. But they failed their task, didn't do what was asked, so Jeff killed them for stupidness. Stark had a new suit to test, so the armor could be at its best. He could take flight, win any fight, thanks to the device in his chest, but it was stolen by the bad guy, who left Stark alone to die. But he was unaware that Tony had a spare, so he'll give it another try. Jeff built a suit with the stolen tech to help him break Stark's neck, but with the help of a friend, Tony got his happy end and left poor Jeff in quite a wreck. So ends Iron Man's first adventure. He managed to thwart every danger. He saved the day in his special way. Now Fury wants him to be an Avenger. Meanwhile, somewhere in Brazil, meditating up on a hill, lived Bruce Banner, controlling his mana because he's incredibly ill. He was infected by gamma rays, so now he spends his days trying to find a cure so he may ensure the end of his hulking ways. He also worked at a soda factory before being found by the military. They attacked him, but Hulk beat them due to ineffective artillery. So they came up with a new plan to make their own Hulk hitman. They put a super drug in this military thug, turning him into a Superman. Bruce went to his ex for assistance. They soon met with military resistance. Enter the super guy, who Hulk leaves to die, but at least he has persistence. Bruce and Betty find Mr. Blue, a scientist who says he has a clue about how to deduce a cure for Bruce, but he has an agenda too. He saw a great possibility with the Hulk's invincibility. Though it wasn't ethical, it was purely medical, but Banner felt very differently. The military came back again, Super Guy made Blue his friend, Banner was arrested, Blonsky got injected, and that brings us to the film's end. Blonsky becomes the Abomination, went on a rampage across the nation. Military asks Bruce for help to beat the bad guy to a well, and Hulk was successful in this action. So Bruce goes back on the run, taking us back to where he begun. He learns to control the Hulk. Maybe now he won't be a sulk. Oh well, at least this movie is done. Let's get back to Tony Stark. Things have gotten a little dark. Cause he's dying, you see, poisoned by his own machine. But he's still up for a bit of a lark. Though perhaps he takes it too far when he tries to drive a racing car. To add to those fears, the bad guy appears, and he and Tony have a bit of a spar. The reason why Whiplash is so mad, the Starks did something to his dad. So he wants payback, so he went on the attack, hoping it'd stop him from feeling sad. But it doesn't really work out. Then this Hammer guy comes about. He asks the big Russian brute to build him an Iron Man suit, and he agreed with a mighty pout. Meanwhile, Tony was starting to get rowdy, and this managed to piss off Rhodey. This little tiff led to some biff, and then Tony left acting all pouty. Then along comes Nick Fury, who's all like, no need to worry, rest assured we have a cure. Now pull your head in, Tony. So he teams up with War Machine, just as Whiplash re-enters the scene. Through teamwork he's bested, and Hammer is arrested, which wraps it up all nice and clean. Meanwhile, in a world afar, is the kingdom of Asgard, home to the mighty Thor, as well as many more. This is where things get bizarre. Thor wants all the frost giants dead. He lets power go to his head. Odin says, that's it, I'm sick of your shit, banishes Thor, then goes to bed. Earth is where Thor gets stranded. It's a small town where he's landed. He calls for his hammer, but it won't answer, not till his mind is expanded. His brother Loki hatches a plan to become king of his homeland. It doesn't make sense, but in his defense, it does work for a short span. To stop Thor from ruining his day, he sent a robot to blow him away, but his timing was whack because Thor's powers were back, and he used them to win the fray. So Thor goes home again to put Asgard on the mend. He defeats his brother, saves his father, but can't be with his girlfriend. Now let's take a trip back in time, where the world's days weren't fine. Countries were at war, enemies at our door, the time for a hero was 9. So this little guy gets pumped with a drug that turns him into a big lovable lug. He gets his chance for adventure when his best friend gets captured, but these aren't ordinary German thugs. Steve sneaks into enemy territory, where he makes a new discovery, meets the Red Skull, the one in control of Hydra's space-age artillery. Steve becomes Captain America, a nice bit of war propaganda. He gets a new outfit, a shield to go with it, that he'll use to crush Hydra's agenda. But all didn't go so well when poor old Bucky fell. Right off a train into a world of pain. 'Twas quite a sad farewell, but no time to mourn this loss. Cap has to take on the boss. When they infiltrate the lair, the bad guys take to the air, but America wins at any cost. Cap gets aboard the vessel, he and Red have a wrestle, Cap wins the row, no time for how, he has to stop the missile. The only way to prevent a slaughter was to crash the plane into the water, so Cap got frozen, but thanks for erosion, he was discovered in the future. Which brings us back to the present, and the start of a new event. Loki is now on Earth, ready to prove prove his worth through malicious and evil intent. Fury calls in Cap now that he's awake, bringing in Stark was a piece of cake. Then they got the Hulk, who's no longer a sulk, and somehow Thor will also partake. But all they do is fight each other. They don't seem to like one another. They do get their man, but it's part of his plan, which they'd have stopped if they'd worked together. He uses a brainwashed Hawkeye to blow their base out of the sky. Banner goes into a rage, Hulk goes on a rampage. Oh, and Loki murders a guy. Black Widow deprograms Barton, while the others learn their lesson. They figure out what Loki's up to. Now it's time to bid him adieu, along with his alien invasion. While the Avengers battle the army and Hulk beats the shit out of Loki, the government convenes and then it decrees that they must send a nuke to the city. But this turns out to be a benefit, as Iron Man is able to redirect it. He sends it through a portal to the alien stronghold, and they all die thanks to this hit. So now that they've saved the day, the Avengers go their separate ways. Meanwhile, up in space, a guy with a purple face wonders how things went so astray. Thank you for watching the show. If you enjoyed, please let me know. You can like and share, subscribe if you dare, and please leave a comment below.